Hello, hello, can you hear me out there? Hello, to each one of you, hello. Glad that you tuned in. Welcome to the Spice of Life Variety Show. I know that you could hear me. I was just kind of messing with you. We are so delighted that you have tuned in today to view our show. We know that you're going to be blessed because we have a joy in bringing it to you. We bring you greetings from West Angeles Church, Bishop Charles E. Blake and the West Angeles family, along with Mrs. May L. Blake, who stands beside him. From our hearts to your hearts, welcome. We love you. God's blessings be upon you. Come on now, you know the routine. Grab your pen and your paper. Jot down our contact information at the very end of the show. We want to hear from you. We thank you for tuning in, and we have a special show for you today. Trust me, a special show. Pamela, Diane, how are you doing?
I'm great. How you doing, Dr. Lewis?
I'm doing just great.
All right. We're going to get some wisdom.
Oh, wisdom.
Wisdom.
From those that are younger than us.
Yes, younger than us.
Okay.
Joseph Lewis's perspective.
Joseph Lewis's perspective.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
He's probably, I call him my nephew. Because I think he's your youngest baby.
That's my youngest baby boy. That's right. The mother of 3 sons. I'm so proud. And I'm your mom, right?
Right.
Okay, all right. Well, on a more serious note, now we interviewed you a few years back when you were just leaving high school, entering into college, and so now you are a senior in college. How would you describe your journey from being a high school senior to now coming into being a college senior?
How would I describe my journey? The journey is just been a constant sequence of events where you're learning, and so I try to take from everything that life brings. You know, as a high school senior, there were things I had to worry about, things I had to understand, things I had to know to survive as a high school senior. Now, same thing goes for a college senior. It's different things I just need to know to make my life as happy as I want it to be and as positive as I want it to be. And so, just a series of events where I'm learning.
That you're learning. Anything particularly you have a nugget of wisdom for us that you've learned that maybe we can learn from you?
I just take everything a day at a time.
Just take it a day at a time.
Yeah, because if you look at things as a big picture, things can become overwhelming. If you say, I want to be a doctor, I want to get my PhD. If you just think about it it can become overwhelming. So that if you say today I'm going to do everything that I can do today to make sure that I reach that goal, I get to that destination, it'll be a lot easier. If you take it a day at a time.
Okay, Mr. Lewis. After being indecisive about your major, what did you ever come up with? What is your major?
I'm a communications major, but I started off as a business major. But I wasn't sure. Well, I knew I wanted to do things dealing with business, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do in particular. So what I did was I broadened up my horizons a little bit, and with communication I can do a number of things dealing with business. With business I was kind of restricted, I felt, so I had to make things a little easier for me as opposed to limiting myself.
Is there a particular area that you want to go into that you have in mind with your communications major?
Right now I want to go into public relations.
Public relations.
Possibly get into the entertainment industry, maybe do some marketing for record labels, stuff like that. That's where I am right now. But if you ask me when I graduate, it may change.
It might be different.
Yeah. But right now, that's what I'm looking towards.
Because that was going to be my next question. How have your dreams changed over the last 3 or 4 years?
My dreams really haven't changed that much. They just become more specific. Because I always wanted to rule the world, and so I always wanted to be involved in different things, and I still want to get involved in different things, but it's just seeing the path a little more clearer now. That's really changed.
Really? So what are some of the lessons you have learned between an adult and a student, or just basically share some insight. How would you say that your perspective has changed since you were 3 years ago to now about life in general?
Well, growing up, you always hear people say, if you want something, then stick to it, and eventually you'll get it. I've always heard that, I always understood that, but then I'm beginning to see it because 3 years ago, I was entering my freshman year of college, and it was just one of those things where, you always think about going. Well, I've always thought about going to college, and it was actually here now, and it seemed overwhelming at first, but then, like I said, I took it a day at a time, and here I am entering my senior year.
I want to know something. When did you have the desire to go to college? When did that?
Well, as far back as I can remember, because I grew up playing basketball, and so I was wanting to play college basketball. So it was always.
So college was always a thought there. Okay.
Yeah. So, but when I was younger, primarily I just wanted to go just play sports. I knew college was school, but I was looking at it more so just to play sports. But then as I grew older, then I realized that education was important, and so I wanted to go to become educated and to get an education.
Well, you've always been a dreamer.
Well, what do you think about the athletes now that come out of high school, basketball players that get signed up and haven't went to college? How do you?
Well, I never want to judge anybody, but if that's what they want to do, then that's what they want to do, because for some people, like for me, basketball and sports in general was a vehicle, to get me to where I want to go.
Okay.
And ultimately, my destination as far as sports was to get free education. But then for those students who go from high school to straight to the pros, that may be their destination. So basketball was that vehicle that they wanted to use to get to the pros and to get to that type of lifestyle. So they're seizing the opportunity as soon as possible, and I don't blame them for doing it.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's like Donald Trump or P. Diddy taking an internship right out of high school, or to get into the music industry, and that's what he decided to do. And
so just go
as opposed to waiting till he graduated from college. So.
Okay. All right. But do you think that some things? Okay, let's just say if you would have gone straight from high school into the pros, what lessons do you think you would have missed out on learning in between that college time?
Just people are different when you grow up. You become accustomed to the people that you're around, but then so you may think that that's how everybody in the world is. In college, especially living on campus, you're introduced to so many different races, so many different ethnicities, to where you find that people really are different on an individual basis. And I don't think you can learn that to a certain extent, not going through it, but it definitely helps when you're living it, when that's being your surrounding, your environment.
So now for that freshman, that's the first year, right? Freshman, coming into college, now that you are in the upper grade, what would be your advice to them?
Just recognize your goals and stick to them, because in college, in life in general, there are a lot of things that can distract someone from achieving their goals. But if you know what you want to do and stick to it, and no matter what life throws at you, then always keep your goal in mind. Then you should do well.
How does a student survive on the college campus, live in a dorm, and still have a handle on their studies? How does that?
Well, you just have to remember, that's why you're at school for your studies, and so you base everything around your studies. Like this past year, I ran into a couple problems with my track program, was because I have a plan in my mind, as far as I have a timeline as far as when I'm going to graduate and all these different things, and things can hinder that journey. So it's up to the individual to do things and to prioritize and to make sure that they keep their goal first in their mind, and then base everything around that. Like my number one goal right now is to graduate this upcoming year, and so regardless of everything financial difficulties dealing with transportation, all these different situations. I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure that I attain that goal. And so it's just basing my life around that, pretty much.
You know, well, I have to proudly say you've always appropriately carried your name, Joseph the Dreamer, because he's always had the large dreams, Pamela. He's always had that, and so this is just an indication that of the success of you being able to accomplish, because you said just staying focused and doing what you need to do, huh? Wow. So now, what are some of the challenges you find in life as a young man?
Some of the challenges. People may just get caught up in everything that you see on TV. Like, I don't know, there's been, I've gone through different phases, and there are phases where I feel like I need to go buy, $300 jeans, and, and sometimes it happens just to keep up.
$300 jeans, not a suit.
No,
a pair of jeans.
just to maintain an image that's demanding. So, yeah, but then at the same time, so that can become a hindrance as to taking care of what you need to take care of, what you need to pay for. But that's just one of the things, getting caught up in all the hype of life, and also misunderstanding time. People's parents always tell you there's a time for everything, and so a wise man told me that you're not really supposed to start having fun until you're like 28, 29, until your late 20s, because early 20s, when you get out of college, and early 20s, that's when you're putting in the work so that you can reap the benefits at the end of your 20s, and so people always want results now, and they want to be able to live the lifestyle that they dream about living now, and that without giving the preparation to do that. And so it's just about like I said, staying focused and recognizing that those things out there that can distract us, and seeing those as distractions, and then recovering from those.
Have you ever considered being an attorney?
No, but I remember back in high school, they used to say I should be an attorney because I was always quick to talk to coaches and on behalf of my other teammates and stuff like that, and so they said I should be an attorney, but I never really thought about that.
Yeah, he's got in trouble.
He might just, you never know.
Well, you never know. He's got in trouble a couple of times trying to run to somebody else's defense. Step between them and the coaches, because he didn't mind speaking up. Well, that's great. What do you see yourself going from here? What are your future plans?
Like I said, my first goal is to graduate, definitely spring 08. Besides that, I'm debating. I go back and forth almost every other day as far as should I go to graduate school or should I just jump into a field, or what I should do. But I'm taking it a day at a time, and so I just try to use that day as well as I can, and take from it as much as I can. Okay. To make tomorrow better.
You were talking about Lewis Kingdoms. You still thinking about Lewis Kingdom Hotel?
Yeah, that's still somewhere in there in the whole plan.
In the whole plan.
But I've changed it a little bit to where originally my goal was to have a chain of hotels, but I was going to have it I wanted to have one in every state, but then after that was years ago. So now I'm just focusing on major metropolitans. And but now I'm taking it worldwide.
Worldwide, global.
Who's your mama again? That's good then. Now, well then, what about family? Do you desire to eventually marry? I'm talking about years from now, but I'm talking about do you eventually want to have a family?
No, I plan on having a family also. It's also one of the things I go back and forth with every other day. Sometimes I just want to I want to grow with my family. I want to get married maybe when I'm 25, and then be able to take my family through the building of the Lewis Kingdom and different things like that in my life. And then there are other days where I'm like, I'm just gonna concentrate 10 years or however long it takes to get to on top to where I want to be, and then have the family. But then you can run into a lot of problems either way. But like I said, I'm going back and forth about that, and I'm just taking it a day at a time.
How many children would you like to have?
I want to have a lot of kids. Like I I want to have a lot of kids.
Like, what's a lot in this day and time?
Yeah, a lot.
I want to have like more than 10.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I want to have more than 10. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I think about. That's what I think sometimes. More than 10.
What do you think have brought you to that conclusion, or that desire?
Well, I just want just for people to have people that they can definitely rely on, because growing up, I was close to my brother a year apart, and so I knew that if I went to school, I always had somebody I can hang out with. although we didn't hang out that much at school, I always know if I needed somebody to hang out with, he was there. And it'd be the same type of thing with the big family, and it'd just be constant family around you, and so.
Well, I kind of like that idea. I can go for a lot of grandchildren. That's a good thing. Now, what about what would you say to that young man, that young woman who wants to change their lives? They don't feel successful. They don't feel good about where they are right now. What would you say to them as to how they can change their lives?
Well, I was just say to channel that energy, because that's, like I was telling a friend of mine, energy is energy. Negative energy, positive energy, it's all energy. If you're feeling down about the way your life is going, you're using your energy negatively to think about how things are, as opposed to thinking how things can be, and using your energy to get towards that. And so I would use that negative outlook on life as a motivation. Like, I mean, I've done that a couple times where I feel like things were down, and just use that to motivate myself to make things better.
Learn some things.
Joseph. Okay, so now, do you know anything about God or Jesus Christ? Do you know anything about them?
Yeah.
What do you know about them?
I was raised in the church, so I'm familiar with God. So I'm saved. So.
Oh, okay. You're saved, young man. What does that mean by being saved? For your blessed. What does that mean?
I've accepted Jesus in my heart.
Okay. All right. And so, do you honestly believe that Jesus makes the difference in one's life?
He does, yeah. But it's very easy for people to misunderstand the things in life. Some people may just call it, luck, and then some people may call it a blessing. And the thing about it is that, Jesus' favor isn't fair, and so that's why people who seem like they're living incorrectly in relation to the way Christianity says to live, it seems like they're doing well, but then the person who's living right seems like they're not doing so well. Things seem like things are going wrong in their lives, but in the end, it's the person who devoted their life to Christ is definitely going to have the biggest payoff. And so, in regards to Christianity, it's important to look at the bigger picture and not just get caught up in mankind and human life. But this is hard to do, though, of course.
Can I ask a question? Sure. By being in college, have you had any challenges as far as beliefs, other people's beliefs, or anyone trying to sway your belief?
No,
professors or anything?
No, not really. People are, like I said, you come in contact with a lot of different people,
right?
And so you meet people from different religious backgrounds, and we've had a lot of different Bible studies and stuff like that, and so they're constant reminders, and there are ways to stay grounded in your faith, no matter what your religion is. I'm sure there are Muslim clubs and things like that to help them stay
different
grounded.
Campuses. Yeah.
What would you say to the parent of a freshman student who is reluctant about letting their child go into the college life? What would be your advice to parents?
Don't be afraid to see your child grow. That's what I was saying, because college is nothing but a growth experience. It's like I said, it's just something to help you get to where you ultimately want to go as an individual, and so that's just one of the vehicles to take you there. And so, don't be afraid to see them go to the next level as an individual. educational wise, as well as socially, all the different aspects that college can offer.
Mrs. Lewis, I would just like to ask you a question. Since you're the parent, how was it? How were you affected, negative or positive, letting your son live on campus, releasing him, going to campus?
Well, it was kind of difficult, and it still is, because we have a tendency to see our children as little bitty children, and they're helpless, and we need to take care of them. And one of the challenges I've always had, even with Joseph, even when he was like that, was him trying to be independent, and he's done quite well. I really constantly tell him how proud I am of him, proud of him, because he is at least trying to make some positive things happen in his life. And so it's not easy letting go, but like he just got through saying, we have to let go and let them grow.
Let them grow.
Because they're going to grow.
They have to grow.
And they're going to go.
Right.
And so we have to. And so it's just good to know that, give them a solid foundation. So if a parent is starting off, they need to give them a solid foundation, rooted, number one, in the Lord, in Christ. Give them biblical principles to live by. And then one of my other sons, one time I was saying, well, don't do this, don't do that. And I was trying to keep them from doing something. And he said, Mom, didn't you raise us to think like that? So I said, well, yeah. He said, okay, well, trust what you have done.
Right.
And so I had to calm myself down, because we do have a tendency to want to hold on. But I am very, very proud of you, son. I really am.
Thank you.
You are really going forth. How are you? You have a daughter. How are you with? I have a son.
Well, see, my daughter's 37, be 38, so it's much different. But she's, it wasn't hard. It wasn't hard. It was easy.
Hard.
Yeah, it was easy. Yeah.
It was easy.
Yeah,
so now, how many sons and daughters you want? I mean, how many sons would you like to have? How many daughters would you like to have?
I want more sons than daughters, but I don't know, maybe like 7 sons, 3 daughters, something like that. If I was able to choose, if I wanted 10. Maybe I wanted more, maybe I wanted less, but it's going to 10. Yeah.
Isn't that something? Now, what would be, again, what else might you tell a young person that is aspiring to live a positive life, to have dreams in their life, but don't see how they can get to accomplishing those dreams?
Just constantly remind yourself of what you want to do, whatever it may be. I remember when I was maybe high school or stuff like that, I would keep things on my wall to remind me of what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. And regardless of when it would happen, if it was 15 years from then, 20 years from then, maybe 10 years from then, that reminder would keep me grounded, and especially if it was somewhere like in your room where you
see it constantly.
Yeah, you kind of see it constantly. You're constantly reminded of that, and then you will do certain things in your life to attain that, to get there. And so just keep reminding yourselves.
Now, to change the world, or to change what you have seen, what would you change if you could in life? What are some of the things you could change?
To change the world?
Well, change world, society, what you know of. Maybe one or two things.
See, that's difficult, because I understand that if you change one thing, you change everything. So it would be hard to say one thing would I change. That's just like saying if I would have stayed at a certain school, then I would be further along as far as athletics. But then if I would have stayed at that school, then I wouldn't have met all the people that I've met now, and then I wouldn't be doing all the things I'm doing now. And so one thing affects everything else. And so I don't really think I can change. You can change one thing, and it just affect that one thing, because it'll affect everything else.
Well, that's why now I think about it. that's why. Yeah, and it is a constant learning. Seriously, that was a learning experience, because you're absolutely right. Everything is a domino effect. It affects everything. Well, Mr. Lewis, what are your final thoughts? We're down to the last moment of the show. What will be your final thought?
Just to stay positive about everything, regardless of regardless of the way things may look, it's so easy for us to throw in the towel and to give up on certain things, but just to take things a day at a time and don't look at I try not to look at situations as it being a struggle or it being like bad. I just try to look at situations as how can I get around to fixing that, and like I said, don't look at things as the big picture. Just look at it a day at a time and small doses, and it'll be easier to accomplish.
Small dose.
Well, Mr. Lewis, we've been happy to have you on the show. You have shared some insightful jewels. Seriously, again, I'm very, very proud of you, and just keep on keeping on and keep Jesus first, and you will go every place in life that He would have you to go and where you want to go. To you, our audience, and Pamela, anything else you want to say?
Just shake my hand. Would you like to be a mentor? Would you mentor any young people?
I mentor a couple different.
Oh, good. All right, good. All right.
To you, our audience, we want to encourage you, young people, young adults who are looking on. If you are adults, if you don't like your life, change it. Change it into a positive avenue. It's never too late to change. And your decision, your one decision will affect other decisions in other areas of your life. And so we have heard from Joseph Lewis' perspective today. But what is your perspective? What is your outlook? What is your thought? What you think will affect your actions. And so if your actions are not in line with what you want, then come on, change your thought pattern, and then your actions will fall in line. We love you. We thank God for you. Thank you for tuning in. Tune into any of our shows, and take care of yourself. God bless you. And until next time, Pamela D, Tonya D will be here to greet you and to love you. Thank you so much. Joseph Trevon Lewis. What a wonderful, wonderful time to have spent with you. And we just thank God for you.
Wow.
Thank God for it. Keep on keeping on.
That's right.
In Jesus' name.
So do you ever write, do you have your vision, do you write it down?